Okay, so now that we have our 4 thumbnail sketches finished, it's time to move on to our half-scale orthographic sketch. I've decided out of the ones that I've developed, I'm going to be going with the one that you see here down in this bottom corner. So I'm going to use my thumbnail sketch sheet off to the side as a guide and get out my orthographic sheet. So this one you can see I actually already started to try to save some time. But there's a couple things we have to do to begin, so let's just review and try to remember what we have to do to start. We always begin in the title block region at the bottom, so we're always filling out our name across the bottom portion to start. The scale now, we're going up to half scale, so what we draw on this page will be half of what our final design will actually be, what our prototype will be when we make it, and don't forget to add the date. Okay, so based off of my thumbnail sketches, one block, or one grid block, that we could see was equivalent to 1 inch. Well, we're doubling that. So now on my thumbnail sketch, if I preview my thumbnail sketch again, one block on here is the same thing as 2 blocks on here, so I have to double my lines when I draw them. So if on here, starting at the beginning, I had a straight line coming out 1, on here, I would come down instead of 1, 2. So it doubles. Now, we're also getting into line types, and we've covered line types now in class briefly. And the first line type that we're going to actually start with to do this drawing is a center line. And center line is very helpful in determining the symmetry of a design and where the midpoint is. So to draw a center line, we're going to begin on the top view again. We always start on the top view. And how we'll draw our center line is we'll begin a little bit outside of our box area where the construction lines are. And the center line is drawn as a long line and a short dash, and a long line and a short dash, and a long line. Now that's a horizontal center line, so it's coming across the horizon from left to right. I've also included a vertical center line over here on my end view. You can see I have a long line, a little dash, and a longer line that comes down. So center lines aren't just used horizontally, they're also used vertically. Okay, so to continue with my top view, again, I'm looking to my left off screen from what you guys can see, and I'm doubling what I can find. So again, starting in the front, I had a line coming from the center up 1, so on here I'll count 2 blocks up and 2 blocks down. And then I have a curved line that on my other drawing comes down 1 block. So on here, it will come down from that same part 2 blocks. So I just have to find the side of the French curve that matches perfectly, and there it does. So 2 blocks here. I'll flip it, and 2 blocks over and 2 blocks down. There's my second curve. So again, whatever you do on one side, you do on the other. On my thumbnail sketches, it's 3 blocks straight. So on here it'll be 6 blocks, or 6 grid blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then same thing on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to continue our drawing down. If it comes in half a block on your thumbnails, it's going to come in a whole block on your half scale. So again, everything is just doubling. And it should match up. There's a progression that occurs with this, ladies and gentlemen, and when I go through and I grade your drafting portfolio, I'm expecting to see that progression. I can see where your thoughts were originally and then how they changed over time. So please make sure you are representing that clearly. And if you do make changes along the way, all good designers, they do that also. But I'd like to see that change shown in your design, and you make note of that somewhere. Okay, almost finished here. So I'm just finishing up the back edge. And then I have to add my center portion for my cutout. And that will begin right here. It's in 2 blocks on either side and comes up to the front. Okay. So my top view is now completely finished, and you can see a comparison from, let me fold this in half so you can see it a little bit better. Here was my thumbnail, and it's gotten 2 times bigger, and now we've gone to our half scale. So I still need to finish my side view, and on my side view, remember we have to add also our hidden lines. The hidden lines have already been added to my end view, but not to my side view. So some other lines I'll need to also show are any visible lines. So anywhere 2 lines meet along the edge. So if we start in the front, we can see here 2 lines meet. So anywhere 2 lines meet, we actually will have a solid visible line along the bottom edge. So if you follow this along, 2 lines meet right there. We just line those up with our ruler or scale, whatever you're using. And what that's showing is, if we could actually see it, this is going inward here. If we could see it directly from the side, it's going inward this direction. So that's what those lines are showing us. 2 lines meet here. 2 lines meet at the back. There's already a line there. So now to do my hidden lines for my cutout. Remember, hidden lines are always drawn as dashed lines, but I have a solid line there. So solid line trumps the hidden line. And I'm going to come down a 1/2 inch on my boat. So that's only going to be 1/2 block here. Actually a little bit beneath that. My ruler's off a little bit. Or my scale, excuse me. Okay, so that is just doing our main lines. There'll be a video following this one that shows how we add all of our extension and our dimension lines.